Dividing fractions. Students will draw on earlier work in operations algebraic thinking, particularly the knowledge of multiplicative situations and making use of the relationship between multiplication and division. Vocabulary: common factor, common multiple, composite number, greatest common factor, least common multiple, and prime number. Let's start with the meaning of division. Suppose 24 bagels are being distributed into boxes. The expression 24 divided by 3 could be understood in two ways. Either 24 bagels are being distributed equally into 3 boxes, as represented by this diagram, or 24 bagels are distributed equally into 8 boxes, as represented by this diagram. We also have to understand prime and composite numbers. Prime numbers are numbers that only have 1 in itself as a factors. For example, the number 7. The only factors that 7 have are 1 times 7. Composite numbers are numbers that have more factors than just 1 in itself. For example, 6. 6 has factors of 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. To the right, you see two different diagrams that show prime numbers being circled or written in the color red. For example, 36 can be broken down into 2 times 18, 2 being the prime number. 18 can be broken down into 2 times 9, 2 being the prime number. And then 9 can be broken down into 3 times 3, both being prime numbers. Finalizing it that we have prime numbers of 2 times 2 times 3 times 3, which would yield the product of 36. How many groups? Jada poured 5 cups of iced tea in a pitcher and filled 2/3 of the pitcher. How many cups of iced tea filled the entire pitcher? We can use multiplication and division to solve this problem. The diagram can help us reason about the answer. If 2/3 of a pitcher is 5 cups, then 1/3 of a pitcher is half of 5, which is 5 halves or 2 1/2. Because there are 3/3 in one whole, there would be 3 times 5 halves or 15 halves in a whole pitcher. Dividing a number by a unit fraction. How many 1/3 are in 4? What is 4 divided by 1/3? We can reason that there are 3/3 in 1, so there are 4 times 3/3 in 4. In other words, dividing 4 by 1/3 has the same outcome as multiplying 4 by 3. In this unit, students focus primarily on using models and logic of multiplication to solve division problems. In summary, to add or subtract fractions, we often look for common denominators so the pieces are the same size. To multiply fractions, we often multiply by the numerators and the denominators.